The security guard's hand clamped down on my arm and he dragged me toward the exit. People in the lobby were all watching, and a few were even recording it on their phones. The manager just stood there with his arms folded, smirking like he was enjoying every second of my embarrassment. Then the elevator doors slid open. My husband walked out, and just like that, everything stopped. Game over. But hold on. Before I explain how this whole nightmare started, hit that subscribe button right now because what you're about to hear is going to make your blood boil. This is a real story about cruelty, karma, and instant justice. Let's begin. My name is Camila Rodriguez. 4 years ago, I was working as a waitress in a small downtown diner, living paycheck to paycheck in a tiny apartment with a leaking ceiling. That's where I met Adrian. One rainy Tuesday morning, he came in, ordered a black coffee, and sat by the window with his laptop. I still remember how he took his expensive jacket off and gave it to a homeless man shivering outside. No cameras, no crowd, just real kindness. That moment stuck with me and changed everything. We started talking, and within 3 months, we were inseparable. 6 months later, he proposed, and I said yes right away. Here's something people often don't get about me. When I married Adrian, I married him, not his money. He runs a chain of luxury hotels in 15 different countries, and his net worth is so big, I don't even like thinking about it. But none of that ever changed me. I still shop secondhand. I still wear my old jeans and worn sweaters. I don't care for designer bags or fancy jewelry. Adrian actually loves that about me. He says that in a world full of fake people, I'm the most real thing he's ever had. 3 weeks ago, he left for an important business deal in Singapore. We talked every night, but I missed him a lot. The house just felt too quiet without him, without his laugh, without him being there. So last Thursday, I decided to surprise him. He was staying at our main hotel, the Grand Meridian, wrapping up meetings before coming home. I booked a last-minute flight, tossed some clothes into a backpack, and went straight to the airport. I didn't tell him I was coming. I didn't tell anyone. When I landed, I was completely drained. My hair was tied up in a messy bun, no makeup, just faded jeans, an old cardigan my grandmother gave me, and worn sneakers. I looked exactly like what I was, a tired woman who had just survived a 5-hour flight. I grabbed a taxi to the hotel, my heart beating fast with excitement. I was already looking forward to the moment I'd see Adrian's face when I knocked on his suite door. The taxi stopped right in front of the Grand Meridian, and I felt that familiar little rush of pride hit me. The hotel towered above me, all marble and gold details, with fountains sparkling in the afternoon light. My husband built this place, his vision, his hard work. The doorman Carlos was standing at the entrance. When I walked up, he looked at me, paused for a second, then slowly opened the door with this expression like I smelled bad or something. I noticed it right away, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions. Maybe he was just having a bad day. I stepped inside through the big gold revolving doors and entered the lobby. It was stunning. Chandeliers made of crystal, glossy marble floors reflecting everything, fresh flowers everywhere you looked. Guests were moving around in expensive suits and designer outfits. I went straight to the reception desk, excited to check in and then go surprise Adrian upstairs. The receptionist, a young woman named Jessica, her name tag said so, was on the phone. She glanced at me and I could have sworn she rolled her eyes before turning away slightly. So I waited. 1 minute passed, then 2, then 3. She stayed on the call, laughing like she had all the time in the world while I just stood there like I wasn't even there. Finally, she hung up and looked at me with a completely cold expression. "Can I help you?" she asked, like she was doing me a favor just by speaking. I gave her a polite smile and tried to stay calm. "Hi, yes, I have a reservation. Camila Rodriguez." She typed slowly, her nails clicking loudly on the keyboard. She stared at the screen, then at me, then back again. "I don't see any reservation under that name," she said. My smile slipped a little. "That's odd. I booked it online yesterday. I can show you the confirmation." I pulled out my phone and opened the email, showing her the booking details and confirmation number. Jessica barely even looked at it. "That could be photoshopped," she said. "Anyone can fake those." I blinked, caught off guard. "I'm sorry, what? Why would I Photoshop a hotel confirmation?" She didn't even hesitate. "Ma'am, we deal with people trying to scam luxury hotels all the time." Then she added, "Can you double check? Maybe you booked a different property? The way she said luxury hotels felt like a jab, like I didn't belong anywhere near this place. I took a slow breath and kept myself steady. No, it's definitely this location. Please check again, maybe under my husband's name, Adrian Rodriguez. That got her attention. She raised an eyebrow. Adrian Rodriguez? The Adrian Rodriguez? You're saying you're married to the owner of this hotel chain? She laughed under her breath. That's when I noticed a bellboy named Ben and another receptionist, Sophia, had stopped working just to watch. They were whispering and smirking like it was entertainment. Yes, I said. I am. Can you just check the reservation? Jessica sighed loudly, almost like she was putting on a show for everyone. Sure, honey. I'll check. She started typing again, slow and exaggerated. Behind me, a guest in line let out an annoyed sigh. I could feel my face heating up, but I tried to stay composed. Then the manager walked in. Jessica, what's going on here? She asked sharply. She was tall, dressed in a tight burgundy suit that looked expensive, hair pulled back so severe it almost looked painful. Her name tag said Patricia, Guest Services Manager. Jessica lit up immediately. Patricia, we've got a situation. This woman says she has a reservation, but I can't find it. And she claims she's married to Mr. Rodriguez. Patricia turned to me. The look she gave me hit hard, pure judgment, even disgust. Her eyes moved slowly over me. Messy hair, worn clothes, scuffed sneakers, like she had already decided who I was. And what seems to be the issue here? She asked, stressing here like I didn't belong in the building at all. I explained again, calmly, and showed her the confirmation email. She barely glanced at it. Instead, she folded her arms and tilted her head. Ma'am, are you sure you can afford our rooms? Our standard rates start at $800 a night. Maybe there's been some confusion. Have you tried the budget motels on 5th Street? The lobby went quieter, or maybe it was just the rush of blood in my ears. I can afford it, I said. I have a reservation. I showed you the confirmation. Patricia turned to Jessica. Did you verify her credit card? Jessica ran my card again with this slow, dramatic motion, like she was putting on a show for everyone watching. We all waited. Then it hit the screen. Declined. That's impossible, I said, my voice starting to shake. Try it again. Patricia smirked. Ma'am, we don't accept cards that don't work. And this story about being married to Mr. Rodriguez, do you seriously expect us to believe that? Jessica leaned toward Sophia and whispered, but not quietly enough, probably stolen anyway. A woman nearby, dressed in expensive clothes, leaned to her companion and muttered, Some people really have no shame trying to scam luxury hotels. It felt like the whole lobby was closing in on me. More and more eyes were on me now. It wasn't just staff anymore, it was an audience. I want to speak to the general manager. Right now. Patricia let out a short laugh. I am the manager, and I'm telling you to leave. Immediately. Then call the owner. Call Adrian. Her laugh got even louder. The owner? You think he has time for this, for you? She turned back to Jessica. Should we call security? Or the police? My hands were shaking as I tried calling Adrian. It went straight to voicemail. He was probably in a meeting. Patricia noticed and shook her head like I was pathetic. Oh, now we're making fake calls? She grabbed her radio. Frank, we need you at reception. Trespasser. I'm not trespassing, I said quickly. I have a reservation. My voice was breaking now. Panic was creeping in. Less than a minute later, 2 huge security guards showed up. Frank and Tony. They looked like they were built for intimidation. Nothing but muscle and cold expressions. Patricia pointed right at me like I didn't matter. Remove her from the property. She's trespassing and trying to defraud us. I'm telling you the truth, I said. I'm Camila Rodriguez. This is my husband's hotel. Frank grabbed my left arm, hard. Tony grabbed my right just as tightly. Let's go, one of them said. Don't make this worse. Don't touch me. Let go. I struggled, but their grip only tightened. They started dragging me toward the exit across the polished marble floor. My backpack slipped off my shoulder and hit the ground. Everything spilled out everywhere. My phone, wallet, keys, and lip balm were all scattered across the floor. Leave it, Patricia called out from behind us like she was watching entertainment. Security will toss it in the trash where it belongs. This is what happens when people try to scam luxury hotels. Let it be a lesson. Ben, the bellboy, actually nudged some of my things out of the way with his foot as we walked past, laughing. Sophia was filming the whole thing on her phone. Other guests were doing the same now. Someone even said, "This is going to blow up online." Tears were pouring down my face at that point, not just from embarrassment, but from the pain in my arms and how wrong everything felt. We were so close to the exit now. I could see the revolving doors getting bigger with every step. Frank and Tony were basically holding me up as they dragged me forward. "Please," I begged, my voice cracking, "just let me explain." "Save it," Frank said. "We've dealt with your type before. You people always think you can just walk in anywhere and—" Ding. The elevator sound cut through everything. It was the executive elevator, the doors slid open, and there he was. Adrian, my husband. He was back early, still in his charcoal suit, briefcase in hand, looking like he had just walked out of a meeting. At first, he just looked tired and relieved, like he was happy to be home. Then his eyes landed on me. Everything changed in seconds, confusion first, like his brain couldn't process what he was seeing. Then, recognition. I saw it hit him, his wife being dragged across the lobby by security like a criminal. And then came the rage. Pure, immediate, unfiltered rage. His face turned red. His jaw tightened so hard it looked like it might break. "Stop!" His voice exploded through the lobby, echoing off the marble and glass. It wasn't just loud, it was commanding, final, dangerous. Everyone froze instantly. Frank and Tony stopped mid-step, still holding my arms. The entire lobby turned toward him. Patricia, who had been smirking moments ago, now just looked confused. Adrian was already moving toward us, faster with every step. He wasn't just walking anymore, he was coming in hot. "I said stop!" Patricia finally stepped forward, still confused, still trying to hold control. "Sir, this doesn't involve you. We're removing a trespasser who—" "Let her go." "Now." The way he said it wasn't loud, it didn't need to be. It was a full command, final, absolute. Frank and Tony released my arms instantly and stepped back with their hands raised. Adrian reached me in seconds. He gently cupped my face, his eyes scanning me like he was checking for damage. "Are you hurt? Did they touch you? Camilla, baby, look at me. Are you okay?" I couldn't even answer. I just shook my head and broke down, falling into his chest. He held me tight like he was afraid I'd disappear. I could feel his heartbeat pounding hard against me. Behind us, I heard Patricia again, smaller now. "Mr. Rodriguez, we didn't—" Then it hit her. I could almost feel the moment the truth landed in her mind, like the air itself changed. Oh my God, she's really—" Adrian didn't even look at her yet. He stayed focused on me. "Tell me everything," he said quietly. "Right now. What did they do to you?" Through tears, I told him everything. How they made me wait like I didn't matter. How Jessica treated me like I was trash. How Patricia mocked me, told me I should try budget motels and acted like I couldn't afford the room. How they said my card was fake. How they called me a liar when I said I was his wife. How security grabbed me and dragged me. How they kicked my things across the floor. How they humiliated me in front of everyone. With every sentence, I saw Adrian's expression darken more and more. His jaw clenched tighter, a vein popped in his forehead. When I finished, he slowly turned toward Patricia. The look in his eyes could have shut down the whole building. "What?" he said, cold and steady. "Did you do?" "Do." It wasn't a question. It sounded like a verdict. Patricia's face drained of color so fast it was almost unreal. "Mr. Rodriguez, I didn't know—" "She didn't identify herself," she rushed out. "She looked—" Her eyes flicked to my clothes and then snapped away like she regretted even noticing. "She looked what, Patricia?" Adrian cut in. I thought— We have protocols. I was just protecting the hotel's standards." Her voice kept shrinking with every word. "Standards?" Adrian said quietly. That calm tone was worse than yelling. "So your standard is judging people by how they dress? Dragging them, humiliating them, assaulting my wife?" The word wife hit the room like a shockwave. People gasped. Jessica looked like she was seconds from collapsing. Frank and Tony had already backed away even more. Adrian pulled out his phone. "Harper, get to the Grand Meridian. Now." A pause. I don't care where you are. I don't care what you're doing. You've got 15 minutes, or start updating your resume. Harper was the regional director, Adrian's top guy. Everyone in the room knew that meant serious trouble. Adrian turned to the guards. Frank, Tony, don't move. Not an inch. If you do, you'll be arrested for assault. Then he looked at Patricia. You either. Finally, Jessica. Step out from behind that desk. Now. Jessica was crying hard now. Mr. Rodriguez, please, I need this job. I have student loans. You should have thought about that before you put your hands on my wife, he said flatly. Before you called her a scammer. Before you helped humiliate her. I bent down to pick up my things from the floor. An older woman nearby, pearls around her neck, knelt beside me and quietly helped. I'm so sorry, dear, she whispered. I should have said something. We all should have. Adrian kept one arm around me as I stood, holding me close like he was making sure I was really there and safe. More guests were gathering now, watching everything unfold, and this time a few of them didn't look entertained anymore. Some people were still filming, others just stood there in stunned silence. 14 minutes later, Mr. Harper rushed through the entrance, out of breath, his tie slightly crooked. The moment he saw Adrian's face, all color drained from his. Sir, what happened? Adrian answered slowly, controlled. Your staff just physically assaulted my wife, humiliated her in public, and tried to remove her from our hotel. Our hotel, Harper. The one built on dignity and respect. Harper turned and looked at me. His eyes widened. Mrs. Rodriguez? Oh, God. Then he spun back to Patricia. What have you done? Patricia tried to defend herself, words spilling out in panic. She didn't identify herself. She looked normal. We get scammers all the time. How are we supposed to know? I finally spoke up, my voice shaking but clear. So that makes it okay? To treat someone like trash just because they look normal? Patricia opened her mouth, then closed it again. No answer. Harper grabbed his radio immediately. I want lobby security footage. Last hour. Send it to my tablet. We were moved into a private office just off the lobby. Adrian never once let go of my hand or let me out of his side. Within minutes, the footage was up. We all watched. Me standing patiently at the desk, Jessica rolling her eyes, Patricia smirking, the whispers, the laughter, Frank and Tony grabbing me, Ben kicking my things, Sophia recording like it was entertainment. Every second was clear. No excuses, no confusion, just cruelty on full display. Harper's hands were shaking. This is unacceptable. This is immediate termination for all of them. Adrian stood up slowly like he had already made his decision. Bring them in, all of them. Lobby, now. 5 minutes later, they were lined up in front of the reception desk. Patricia, Jessica, Frank, Tony, Ben, Sophia. Other employees stood nearby, frozen and confused. Guests watched from a distance, and Adrian stood right in front of them. When Adrian finally spoke, his voice filled the entire lobby. I built this company on one rule, he said. Treat people with dignity. He looked around slowly. It doesn't matter if someone is rich or poor. It doesn't matter what they're wearing. Everyone gets respect. Always. His expression hardened. What happened here today is the exact opposite of everything we stand for. Then he pointed straight at Patricia. You're fired. You have 30 minutes to gather your things and leave. Security will escort you out. Patricia's knees almost gave out. But I've worked here 12 years, she stammered. I have a mortgage. I have kids. You should have thought about that before you had my wife dragged across this lobby like a criminal, Adrian said coldly. 12 years, and you still don't understand basic human decency. That's on you. He turned to Jessica next. Fired. You took part in humiliating her. You called her a scammer. You laughed. Jessica was crying now. Please, I'm sorry. I need this job. I'm so sorry. You're not sorry for what you did, Adrian said. You're sorry you got caught. That's not the same thing. Frank and Tony were next. You put your hands on my wife. You dragged her. You hurt her. Fired, both of you. Frank tried to defend himself. We were just following orders. Following orders to be cruel? Adrian cut him off. That's your excuse? He shook his head. Get out. Ben was fired next. Then Sophia. One by one, all 6 of them stood there stunned, some crying, some frozen in disbelief. Patricia had dropped to her knees, begging. Adrian didn't move. Harper brought in security again, different guards this time, to escort them out. They were walked through the same doors they had tried to force me toward, the same exit they had mocked me with just minutes earlier. The lobby went completely silent except for Patricia's sobs echoing as she was taken away. Adrian turned back to the remaining staff. "Let me make this very clear," he said. "This behavior will never be tolerated." "Not here. Not anywhere in our company," he said. His voice stayed steady, but it carried weight. "Starting immediately, we're making changes. Mandatory respect training for every employee, mystery shopper evaluations, a full review of every policy we have." He paused, then added, "And a zero-tolerance rule for discrimination. Any kind." He turned to Harper. "You're on probation. You hired them. You trained them. This happened under your watch." Harper nodded, looking drained. "Understood, sir. It won't happen again, I promise." Adrian didn't soften. "You have 6 months to prove it." Then he took my hand and led me to the elevator. As the doors closed, I saw the lobby one last time. Shame, shock, fear, good. They should feel it. Up in the penthouse, Adrian held me as I cried. Not just a few tears, everything came out, the humiliation, the fear, all of it. He didn't interrupt. He just held me, kept me close, let me fall apart safely. When I finally quieted down, he looked at me seriously. "Do you want to change how you dress?" he asked. "I'd understand. For safety, for—" "No," I cut in immediately. "No, Adrian. I'm not changing who I am because some people can't look past appearances. What happened today wasn't my failure. It was theirs." A small smile formed on his face, the same one I first saw in that diner years ago. "That's my girl," he said. Within hours, the videos from the lobby were everywhere online. 50 million views by the next morning. The hashtag Justice for Camilla started trending globally. People weren't just reacting to me, they were talking about classism, how service workers are treated, and how quickly people judge others based on looks. That day turned into something bigger than just me. I had already been thinking about an idea for a while, and I finally acted on it. I started a foundation called Dignity for All. It focuses on training hospitality staff to treat every guest with respect, no matter how they look. It also offers scholarships for people from low-income backgrounds who want to enter the industry, and it partners with hotels to improve their policies. As for Patricia, Jessica, and the rest, their actions didn't disappear. The internet kept them on record. Every time someone searched their names, that story came up first. I won't lie, I didn't feel happy about that, but I didn't feel guilty either. Actions always come with consequences. 3 months later, I returned to the Grand Meridian. The difference was obvious the moment I walked in. The entire staff had been retrained. New hires were brought in under a values-first system. The atmosphere felt calmer, more grounded. When I stepped through the doors wearing the same kind of worn jeans and an old cardigan, the new receptionist greeted me with a genuine smile. "Good afternoon. Welcome to the Grand Meridian. How can I help you today?" No judgment, no scanning me up and down, just simple kindness. I have a reservation," I said. "Camila Rodriguez." "Of course," she replied right away. "I'll get you checked in, Mrs. Rodriguez, and I just want to say it's an honor to meet you." She paused, then added, "Your foundation's training program changed how I see my job." That moment stayed with me. It made everything feel worth it. And if there's one thing I took from all of this, it's this. You never really know who you're talking to. That person in worn-out jeans might own the building. That exhausted-looking woman might be someone's wife, mother, or daughter. But even more important than that, none of it should matter. People deserve kindness and respect just because they're human. That's it. That's enough. If this story made you feel something, take a second to hit the like button, leave a comment, and tell me what you would have said to Patricia if you were in my place. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe. I'll keep sharing real ones about respect, dignity, and how small actions shape people's lives. Share this with someone who needs the reminder, because kindness doesn't cost anything, but it means everything. And never forget, you don't know who you're judging, but everyone deserves respect anyway. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.